My mom said she was inspired by the princess for this week and bought me this skirt for Christmas. Hi, welcome back to the channel. I actually have no idea what week I'm on because I forgot to look before I started filming this. But this week's princess is Mia Thermopolis. And I thought it was a very fitting one for a couple reasons. I thought of Esther last week when we were talking about Mulan, and then when I got into watching Princess Diaries, I realized that continuing with the idea of Esther, that their stories are very much related. And even it being the week of Christmas, today actually being Christmas Day, the day I'm filming this, that Mary shares a lot of the same story traits. So we'll talk about them in a minute. But like I said, it's Christmas Day, so I've got some new gifts. I'm actually using something that my stepson found for me. I'm doing this on my phone, and I have it hooked up to a mic and a light and this fancy tripod thing, so we'll see how this works. But like I said, it is Saturday, and this is going to be a pretty short video, one take, and I'll cut it where I need to if I start rambling. But it has been a week. We got back from Washington. I was able to kind of fit in the 2 workouts I was supposed to do this week. The one lactic threshold workout required me to do 3 sets of 8 minutes. I only did 2 because I was really tired. But you take what you can get in the holidays. Another one of my favorite gifts I got from my sister from Raw Threads. Race You to the Castle, and it's got a little Ariel on the corner. So I thought that was a really thoughtful gift. I'm excited about Princess coming up, and this is just a reminder of my first runDisney was the Ariel 5K. So I love it. It's Raw Threads, and I can't wait to put it on and really see how it feels. I don't think it's probably meant to work out in. It's cotton and viscose from bamboo and then elastic, so maybe not a hard workout, but I love these little pullover hoodie things. They're my favorite. Okay, so Mia Thermopolis and Princess Diaries. Love these movies so much. Love Julie Andrews. Love Anne Hathaway. But when I got to thinking about the story of Esther in relation to Princess Diaries, how Mia finds out she's a princess, and all these things that come with being a princess. She's not sure she wants to do it, but by the end of the first movie, she comes to the realization that there's so much she could do outside of herself if she were to take that role. And it wasn't easy for her to do that. There's a lot of learning, a lot of accepting that truth that came with it. And if you know anything about the story of Esther, it was very similar. The king needed to find a new queen, brought in all of the bachelorettes, if you will, and he chose Esther. And then, later on in the story, Esther overhears that the king is kind of being tricked into killing her people, and he's not aware at that moment that it is Esther's people. But I believe it's her cousin, Malachi, is the verse I shared last week, is maybe you were called for such a time as this. And we all come to, I think, moments in our lives where we see something that we could possibly do something about. And maybe that's why we were put there in the first place. So I just loved how that kind of led in from last week, and thinking about how Esther is one of my favorite stories. She's such a strong woman of faith and really stepped out there and put herself on the line to save her people. And then bringing it into Christmas, Mary did a very similar thing. She was called upon to be the mother of Christ, and she's a teenager in the story. I say story, but this is history. You hear that? It's my dog. And she was, very brave and stepped out in faith, and look what came of it. It's the world's salvation, and she had to take that step out in faith, and even Joseph had to take that step too, because it's very out of the ordinary, obviously, for this type of thing to happen. but they trusted in God, and He took care of them, So like I said, very short video, and I'm sorry it's not super interesting, but it's been a week. It has been a week. It's holidays, I'm sure everyone understands. But I did enjoy getting to revisit Princess Diaries and revisit the story of Esther and the story of Mary, and I hope that everyone is doing well with training. I know that I heard that my sister, who will be doing her first marathon in a couple of weeks, was able to finish her 20-mile run, which I know is a big milestone on the marathon training plan, is your 20-mile run. So I hope if you are also following that plan, that your training is going well and you're able to get in that 20-miler and just get excited for Tabor and the marathon, which will be happening in just a couple weeks, marathon weekend. So I hope everyone's well. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and has well, I guess I'll see you before New Year, so I won't say Happy New Year yet. So yeah, like this video, comment if you got any really cool running presents for Christmas. I love running gifts. And be sure to subscribe to see what Princess will be doing next week. Always remember that you are his masterpiece. See you next week.